Next up, we're going to have John, who's going to come up and join us, and is going to talk to us about how app monetization helps drive profitable business growth. Oh, no, yeah, that is the right one. I've got your title wrong there, John. Come on up, John. So John is from Scuti, our sponsors, and he's going to tell us all about app monetization to drive business growth. Okay, John, over to you.
Scuti at the last minute. The actual speaker couldn't make it, so I'm filling in. That's the least I could do. Yes, so Scuti, you might be wondering, first I'll try and explain a little bit what it is and what problems it's solving. So, all right, so the background to it. Scuti's been built by game veterans. They were behind the original in-game advertising company called Massive Entertainment. And as you can see, it's a broad range from the industry, from mobile, from PC, and have all built significant franchises themselves, and really, thought it's time that we used games as, that's where the eyeballs are. Bring the market to where the eyeballs are. So to describe the problem at the moment, we all know where we are at with current advertising and monetization, where we're finding that it's incredibly expensive to get consumers. The value per player is going down. The cost of for the CPMs is crazy on the return. And then we've got a situation where games that are built essentially to be ad vehicles, before it was acceptable, now you got 90% of players are turned off by these obtrusive ads, particularly in things like hyper casual. And then we're also looking at trying to get the right brands into the right products. It's becoming a challenge. So with the use of Scuti's AI, we're able to bring quite a bit more direction. We can analyze the player, what the game they're coming in from. We can direct them to the right products to them from there. That helps with, we're accessing a massive industry. The retail market is nearly $9 trillion. It's now inside your game. It's basically bringing an Amazon experience inside your game. That helps with increasing the long-term value of each player, because every time they buy something inside the game, you get a reward. It attracts the players that ordinarily wouldn't spend. You're now monetizing them. We get rewards, and that goes back into the game. And as I said, it's targeted. The kinds of ads that they're going to see and the kinds of products they're going to see, we have much more information on them, because now in the post-cookie world, it's only by registration that we get that kind of information. So that's part of our platform. So using this, these are better methods. We're giving G-commerce, and that's our term for being able to buy a physical good from inside the game, be it a pair of sneakers or a gaming chair. There's rewarded ads being served up while you're browsing. There's a digital store where you can buy branded packs from inside your own game without having to pay fees. So it could be branded something that's similar to your game genre. Say it's a driving game and it's the Volvo pack, and here's 5,000 coins that you buy inside our store, and then there can be converted to use in your game. And of course, we're much better programmatic advertising because of knowing so much about the player and their spending habits.
In the ever-evolving world of gaming, one thing remains constant: the pursuit of an unparalleled player experience. And now, the future of gaming monetization has arrived, brought to you by the creators behind some of the biggest gaming franchises in history. Introducing Scuti, the world's first rewarded G-commerce platform designed with one goal in mind: to revolutionize the way you acquire, retain, and monetize your players. Scuti seamlessly resides in your game's lobby, never interfering with gameplay and preserving the immersive worlds you've worked so hard to create. With just a few hours of integration time, your game is ready to embark on an entirely new and incremental revenue journey, and your players are ready to play, shop, and earn. Scuti never interrupts gameplay and never ejects players from your games. Instead, it opens doors to a world of possibilities right from the game lobby. Players are rewarded daily, and with every purchase they make, you're earning revenues from the everyday products your players are buying anyway. The best part is that Scuti allows players to convert their hard-earned rewards into your in-game currency, converting more players to IAP. Don't think your players will shop from your games? Think again. Surveys show that 90% of players said they would purchase physical goods from their games if they're rewarded, and they can use those rewards to make in-game purchases. Scuti can be customized to each of your games and localized to cater to players in different countries. But Scuti is more than just a monetization tool. Scuti is your next-gen user acquisition tool. That's right, we've got players with rewards wallets ready to spend in your games. Scuti is driving new audiences to your games, and it's all part of the Scuti network. Join the gaming revolution with Scuti, where player experience and your studio's success go hand in hand. Scuti, elevate your game.
Right, so there's a lot to cover in that video. I'll take a deeper dive into each one of them. So more revenues, more retention. Well, you're adding e-commerce in there, you're adding shoppable ads, you're adding a digital marketplace. Just to give you some idea, you're going to get much greater revenue from any a purchase in those systems than you're currently getting. What I mean by that is, if for example, the average player when on network is spending $62 on IAP. That's unheard of in the market. Now, out of that, you're going to get about $4.50 back to you, the publisher of the game. That means you would have to serve up 2,000 ads to make as much as one purchase will make you in the game. So it's another scale of revenues, and that also then puts $3 into the wallet of your gamer, because he gets Scutis that he can then convert into your in-game currency. So now you're also getting that $3 in your game when they convert. So you're now looking at $7.50 from one purchase. It's an enormous amount of revenue. Now, obviously, everyone shops. It's just a question of where they're going to shop. Are they going to click on exit your game, go to Amazon, buy something, or just hit the button that's already there in the game and get into a very Amazon-like experience? And we're seeing that people they seem to think it's perfectly natural to click on that button and buy something. And so you're looking at ads that only appear when you go into the store rather than interrupting the gameplay, ads you're going to make more money from than traditional advertising. And your purchases where both you, as the publisher, and the consumer gets a reward back. And it's priced, the very significant thing is the price competitive with Amazon. So you're going to get it at the same price because we're buying it direct from the retailer and it's been drop shipped. So when you look at how by looking after the player and delivering the player, we know so much about them through their spending habits, and because we're not tracking with cookies, they're actually registered. So it's as if we're a store like Amazon, where again we know what they're spending on. So we promote the right things to each player. We know that they're coming in from Candy Crush, and that's a much larger female audience. So chances are, and we can tell from their name in some instances. So using our AI, we could say, right, this profile means we're going to serve up these kinds of consumer objects rather than, oil for your car or whatever. The important thing is also, we're seeing is that there's no cannibalization from your existing revenue. It sits to one side, you go into it, it doesn't affect anything else you're doing. There's no, we're not taking away from one revenue source and swapping it to another. We're also meaning that people that don't traditionally aren't playing, you're not holding out just for whales in order to make money. Grinders will shop for necessary goods, whereas they may never pay for in-game items. And then yes, you can see how our revenues change. Then we average about $10. Because the video ads obviously are monetize better than the static. And you see there the numbers as they break down. So with the interoperable rewards, again, just to explain that a bit further, as I buy things in the game, as I view videos, as I come from a different game to yours, I've now got a wallet with it's called a Scuti wallet, and that it is interoperable with each game's in-game currency. So somebody might have, say, earned a lot of money while bought something, earned a lot of Scutis while playing a different game, but now they discover your game, they bring that wallet to your game. And so you're benefiting not only from their purchases, but and all their other activity. And then so every new consumer we bring in, that brings across a wallet as well. So you're seeing a much better, you'll see conversion beyond, let's say, whatever you would see from another a regular player coming into it. You're seeing players coming in with a full wallet. So we have a very, in addition to just getting money back from buying items on the store, we have a strong rewards section where just by visiting every day, you get Scutis that go into your wallet. You get, as I said, paid ads, and we've an enormous amount, like 15% of players coming in, checking it every day, and it's just. They're already playing the game. They sort of casually look inside, see what's going on, what's on sale, and pop out. It becomes very natural and part of their process. So you can see some of the numbers here. We're much more likely to see grinders spending because they see real value. They see that they're getting rewarded. They see that they're getting currency from those things. And 30% of them are converting their rewards daily. They come in, they look, they check, and they see what they've got in there, and they'll convert it. And as I say, they could have earned it from a variety of different sources, but they'll convert it to the game that their favorite game. So again, so a little more about the digital marketplace. So in addition, as I said, to selling, speakers and keyboards, we're now with the new DMA rules, we're able to put these rewarded packs into it, and they are branded, as I said, and they can be bought, with Scutis, or they can be bought, with their regular wallet, and then used in your game. So you're going to see a lot more revenue from those packs than if they're bought through the store. Which is a big advantage. But it also means that people coming from other games can spend their money in your game. So right now, I think we're at just over 120 games on our system, and we're looking at accessing nearly 150 million players through all those games by the end of this year. That means you're going to see a lot of gamers going to our website, seeing other games that that are on the Scuti network. So it's a very good customer acquisition or user acquisition strategy to be on our network, because you're going to get visibility to all these other games, and people have a wallet and they're saying, hey, I'm going to try that game because it's essentially free. I can play and spend some of my coins in there. And that's a very powerful network effect. So yes, just to recap, we've got, it's not, the Scuti store, it does not get in the way of gameplay. It's typically accessed from the game lobby, not during the game. And that means you've got players, it's not like a pop-up ad, it's not intrusive, it's a voluntarily done thing. You click on it to go there, rather than it just interrupts what you're doing. As I say, it converts players to purchases. People would never spend money on in-game, they just play it for a little bit. You're now getting monetization for them because they're seeing ads, they're buying goods, and then it also then, because they've got a wallet, they're more likely to stay playing your game, so it improves retention. That's a very important part of it. And as I say, with AI, we're able to customize the store and the look and feel of it to each game. So, if you've got a driving game, you can make it look like it's a garage, and all. We can customize it to that level. And of course, we're completely GDPR compliant because it's a voluntarily based registration. We're not, people log in and they sign up and they give us their information. So we're not, following them around with cookies. And I think, if there's any, got a couple of minutes for questions.
Good point. Do we have any questions? I'm going to just add something because some of the stuff you were talking about is quite familiar territory for me, because back in the day when we were doing the Amplify, which then became Unity Ads, a lot of the stuff that we were working out was the way the rewarded ads unlocked kind of this audience that previously just weren't engaging with the game. And it seems to me like you're trying to provide that antidote to what's happening, I think, at the moment, where a lot of the ad companies are essentially blocking, they're kind of trying to hold people in to an ad experience that's not great and is arguably damaging lifetime value potentially.
It does, because it interrupts what the player wants to do, and you're locked into that for that period of time. The other thing is a lot of the big advertisers, they're not in the market because they're not getting enough data on who's actually watching the ad. And so it's hard to sell to them. That, hey, we've got this network and we're going to deliver it to 100,000 people that you've never heard of and you don't know anything about because, hey, look, everything's changed. We don't have cookies. But in our instance, when we go to the big brands, we can say, I can tell you their age, I know their email address, I know where they live. It's like, whoa.
But not necessarily in a sort of scary way. I mean, in terms of like, these are people who are actually genuinely engaging.
Yeah, so it is literally like, I bought this, I must be interested in it. This guy bought accessories for his car, therefore that's something that's good to advertise to.
And I think if we understand how we're reducing the barrier to entry, we're increasing the transaction to conversion later, that pathway is actually massively important. I think as important as the data itself.
It is, and because it's non-obtrusive and it's rewarding. You get something back for it. So it is like rewarded ads, but it's on top of that, it's purchases giving me something back.
But you're creating an ecosystem, from what I'm understanding you correctly, where it's not just about me engaging with this game, but as my playing habits change, the value proposition I'm building can then be reused in other experiences.
If you've got a wallet that follows you around from game to game. So if you play Candy Crush on the train, but when you come home you want to play some mid-core game, and in fact, let's say it's a mid-core game that traditionally you only get the purchase price. They bought it for $9.99. That's it. In this way, you're now getting more revenue without saying you're putting ads into what people would say. Hey, I paid for this. Why am I getting ads? And in this sense, no, it's okay. The ads are only occurring in the store. So you're going to, you now get further revenue from a consumer where you thought you'd gotten all the revenue we're going to get from them.
I could go into so much depth in terms of whether you should ban ads from people who've paid, which is a really deep conversation, but not one for this morning. So, I think we have a question at the back there. So do you want to ask a question, please?
Yeah, I actually have two questions. So this is really interesting. First of all, does Scuti only work for mobile games? And secondly, does it have a flavor for what kind of genres of games it works for? For example, does it work better for casual games and mid-core games? What about hardcore games?
So to answer your first question, no, it works in any platform except for console, but PC or just web games. Essentially all it's doing is opening an iframe inside of your game. So it can't crash your game, it can't lead to errors or their tracking because all the code's now executing on our server and you're just being delivered the image in an iframe. So yeah, it works on any device that can display an iframe. Sorry, the second part was that what kind of gamers does it work best with? I wouldn't think of it that way. It's a question of what kind of consumers. So everybody shops, everybody buys sneakers. So we haven't seen one genre emerging that says, oh yeah, they're the guys who monetize the most. Because if we're delivering a different consumer product to every individual group, as I said, if you can do it by gender, or you can do it by age. So what they're seeing a store that to them looks like it was made for them. So we try and get around that thing that only casual gamers will, you know what I mean? Because it doesn't seem to affect it. It's more because the store is so targeted.
Well, do you have like a generic customer profile? Like, you know, mid-aged, female, whatever.
Right, and that's what we get from their registration, and then that's what we use to curate the store for them. So it'll be like, well, everybody buys toothpaste, so we don't have to worry about that. But you know, not everyone buys a skirt. So right, well, you know, we're going to be have a gender aspect to that profile, and to offering those things. But some people might, you know, want to turn off that, and they don't want that to happen, and that's fine. We can easily do that as well.
And on that note, unfortunately, I've got to say thank you very much, John.
Thank you very much. Thank you.